It is an incredible resume when you look at what he's achieved at Liverpool, looking at the team he took over and the team he'll be leaving at the end of the season. It is quite the contrast. As we welcome in, Mark Ogden's with us, as is Frank Leboeuf, and live from his first day on holiday. Steve
Why
Nicol.
couldn't you have done it yesterday?
Steve Nicol joins us. Stevie, let's get your reaction first.
You know, the first thing that came in my head when I saw the news was, what do we do now? I mean, that was exactly where I went. What do we do now? You know, this is not just a change of a manager. You know, Jurgen Klopp has put himself in a position where a club the size of Liverpool, it's almost, when you think of Liverpool now, you go straight to Klopp. You know, the club's nearly 150 years old. There's only been 3 managers that, regardless of whether you're 100 years old or a year old, you think of Shankly, you think of Paisley, and you think of Dalglish. Well, now, Jurgen Klopp is in that group. That's how good and how important this guy has been to Liverpool. You know, the holy grail for 30 years was to win the English Championship, which was now the Premier League. And outside of Liverpool, you don't understand how much pain Liverpool fans and teams and managers and coaches went through with that question of when you're going to win the league, when you're going to win the league. This guy answered all those questions, and I mean, how do you replace him? As I said, the first thing I said was what now? And I don't know what the answer to that is, quite honestly.
And we'll talk about who's next in a moment. But Craig, what was your initial reaction?
Well, obviously it was surprising news because nobody saw it coming middle of the season, a season where they've recovered from last year and are flying at this moment in time. But when you heard them talk, and it was from the heart, and he's not doing this because he wants to leave Liverpool with the issue that Stevie talked about. He's doing it because I think he feels it's just taking its toll on him. Mm-hmm. That he's not run out of gas, but he's running out of gas. And he doesn't feel that he'll be able to give the commitment that he's given for this 8.5 years of turning this club around into one of the big, you know, this team around into a team that's won the Premier League, won the Champions League, won domestic cup competitions in England, just seems to be going to cup final after cup final and has played some of the most amazing football and energetic football. When you think about Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool side, you think about watching a game at Anfield and then pick out, say, the Barcelona game, the game where they were losing and came back. You just think about a Klopp side, you think about energy. Mm-hmm. And he's brought energy and dynamism back into this Liverpool team, this Liverpool crowd. And I think he's run out of that a little bit. And the press conferences, the travel, the day-to-day grind, and so yeah, the big problem for Liverpool is where do they go next? I'm sure they'll figure it out, but I can totally understand him just saying, do you know what? There is more to life than just bashing your head away at it day after day after day, year after year. And so fair play to him. He's decided to take a step away and do what's right for him, which is, you cannot argue with that.
Shaka, you told me your first thought was, of course, Stevie.
I think many people are like, goodness me, how's Stevie going to handle this news? He's already got his hands full away at Disney. Listen, like most here in the East Coast of the US, I wake up to this news and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If Jurgen Klopp had said this at this point last season when Liverpool weren't having a good season, you could understand. But Liverpool sitting top of the table as they are right now, and you just felt that it just didn't seem to add up. And then you go and I switched on that interview that he did with Liverpool TV, and it struck me how genuine he was, how human he was about it all. And then in a sense where the normal progression of things is for managers to run steel and their teams to run steel alongside them. So, and that it leads to the eventual dismissal of a manager. Here he is coming out and saying, listen, I'm running steel. I don't want the club to follow in that path. time to take some kind of an action now, so at least you can keep some of this momentum going. And I thought that was brave on his part, and one that, again, just kind of, as he always seems to have done, keep the club as a priority. And as much as he's saying that, and he then goes on to say, let's not make this about me. I'll answer your questions, and from there on, it's business as usual. And I thought, again, that was controlling a narrative about a manager who continues to put the club before himself in so many ways.
It's
It's been one of the most painful day of my time. I haven't done a reaction, so hello guys, welcome back to the Football Connect. Another reaction in a different settings. I think you are used to the settings, but Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool, and I just thought I would like to give some, to hear what other people are feeling, because if you want my thoughts, I think there are 2 videos you can check out that are just before this one, where you actually hear me going through my meltdowns. I cannot believe that the manager of my time, the one that I've actually managed to see something happen with him, is leaving. And like what Stevie Nicol is saying, what do we do now? That is the question that everyone is asking. What do we do now? Because the success that this man has brought, and like Stevie Nicol is saying, that's the one that I'm gonna really quote from this part, that nobody really understands the pain we have been going through for 30 years, being asked, when are you gonna win this? You call yourself a successful club, but you can't win the thing that made you successful before. And him coming up, getting the Champions League, the regular is what people would call it, because we won it in 2005, but going a step further and opening and actually winning that Premier League, that thing that we could not do. The guy who kept the Premier League relevant when Pep Guardiola came and ran storm with this thing. And I have to say, I've really been impressed, and it's really painful, that he's really going. But also we have to take on what the likes of Xhaka and Craig are saying, that he came in and is just being honest, telling you the truth from the heart, that this guy has been doing nothing but football. The only thing he has been doing for such a long time is football. I actually checked his resume. He has never had even a year off since he took over from football, since he was a player, because he started playing football at the age of 16, and from the age of 16 until 54, it's been only nothing but football. And for the first time, he's taking it out. He's saying, no, I'm gonna rest. That shows you how much commitment he has. He's running out of energy, and if we have known Klopp all this long, his football is based on energy. For the gegenpress to actually become something, it's all about the amount of pressure you put in, and that's what makes this manager one of the best in the world. And for him to come out and actually say that, you know what, I've done it all, and I think I need to take a step back, I need to breathe, I need to watch it from afar and see what happens. The fact that he was so human, and he talked about almost everything that he had to do, how much he has already sacrificed with this, and how much he wants to find himself. I respect it, but the question still comes, what do we do now?
One of the things he said, one of the quotes I've seen from him today, was he said, nobody else knows and can tell me how I feel. He said, it's like driving the car at 150, 160 mile an hour down the motorway. He says, clearly the gas is starting to run out. He said, but I'm the only one that can see the needle moving.
Right.
And so for him, where this decision came, was it a week ago? Was it a month? Was it at the start of the season? Was it through last year? I don't know. But he's the only one that can see the needle moving. And as I said, I don't think, whilst there'll be a lot of worry and frustration back in Liverpool, I don't think anybody will have a problem with the fact that he feels it's right for him.
Mark Ogden was at the press conference today after this announcement was released. Did he announce it today because it was going to come out, Mark?
We don't know that, but that would seem the obvious conclusion. But he told Liverpool in November. So the alternative theory is that Liverpool in that time have been looking for a replacement, and they are now making progress, and they didn't want it to come out at the other end. They are looking at potential successors. So now that the secret's out there, the game is a gossipy industry, and once Liverpool start asking questions about the availability of managers, then clearly the question is going to be, why are you asking that question? So I do get the sense that Klopp wanted it out there, but also it felt a little bit like that there was a nudge towards this. He had a press conference yesterday when he could have announced it, and he didn't. So it does feel like it was about to break somewhere, and Liverpool thought the best way to do it is to control it ourselves. But like I say, when they are looking for a new coach, a new manager, obviously people are going to talk, because agents, managers, siblings, chairman, all know. So it was going to come out eventually. So they had to move today.
So the concern for Liverpool fans is how much of a distraction could this be between now and the end of the season? Klopp addressed that in that press conference.
When you spoke to the players and they asked you the questions probably that we're all asking today, how did you ensure with them, or what was the message about making sure this isn't a distraction because you're still fighting on four fronts?
The players didn't have a lot of questions. I spoke to the players all together, then I spoke to a few players after that. The players, we have a really strong bond, so they didn't ask questions. The disruption, I understand. I think of a lot of people from the outside who are not with us will be happy, blah, 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 stuff like this. It's your job to ask questions, uncomfortable questions, whatever. The distraction comes from outside. But to get distracted, you always need two parts. One who distracts and the other one who let it happen. And we will not let it happen. The fact that I said I will not be the manager for next year is not an excuse to do a step less or whatever. So we will be completely in it and we will fight for everything. I'm here with 100%, and that's the good news. I just know I cannot do the job in the future, but I can do it very well right now, and that's what I will do.
It's not ideal, though, is it, Stevie? Because any poor performance now from Liverpool, from now until the end of the season, this will be a factor that people will point to.
Well, I think the key is what he said. You know, he will make sure that inside Liverpool that won't be the case. And I actually don't believe that it's really going to be such a huge distraction. Anytime any press bring it up, he will absolutely smash it to smithereens very quickly, put a wet blanket on it and ask for the next question. And you'll find out what a distraction this will be, because against Norwich at home in the FA Cup, they better put some more nails in the roof, because the roof's going to come off when he walks out for the start of the game. And that's what's going to happen between now and the end of the season. You've got a bunch of players, you've got a squad of players, you've got a staff, and I'm talking about everybody in the building who, between now and that guy leaving the building, will be running through brick walls, doing anything to make his last period at the club a success. So I really don't see a distraction, partly because of the way he is, and just partly because there's going to be... Every time they step on the field, the players in particular and the crowd at Anfield are going to be behind him. They're going to want to give him a send-off. So, yeah, I'm less worried about what this does between now and the end of the season. And Augie might put me right. As far as I remember, everybody at Man United knew that Alex was leaving and they went on and won the Premier League. So, yeah, I don't think it's a big distraction.
We know what happened.
And even what Klopp just said as we were listening to this part. But the important thing is this. It seems like he didn't want to cause any chaos. That's why, like we were talking, they had to come out first and become the first to break it, so that they can have control over the movement. Because I think it not being announced, I think when you really think about it, it was now limiting the club from approaching agents of either managers, sports directors, because they'll start asking questions. Why are you asking about the one who's under my contract? Why are you asking about this manager? And don't you already have a manager in Klopp? Are you thinking of sacking him? That's when all the rumors will be rushing around and stuff. So they decided to announce it now so that they control the movement, because FSG, they have to prepare for a future for Liverpool before the next season comes, and it's only 4 months away. So there is so much things that has to be done. So many people are leaving. I have to understand Pep Linders is leaving, the assistant, the managers, the sporting director, everyone who's there. So they have to prepare for all of this, set their things in order manager and actually help the people to be ready to do so much more. And the distraction, how can that affect the team? Well, Klopp said it so much that in fact the distraction will actually only come from the people from the outside, the journalists, the people who are listening to this, the people who are actually morely following the stories than other one, but not from the team, because he told the team and they're ready for action, they're always prepared for anything that happens. So you have to understand that this is where we are now. The manager is telling you that he's running out of energy, and we have to prepare for that. So I don't think that there's a problem. Sir Alex Ferguson announced that he was leaving, not the first time but the second time, and the team went on to win something. So I'm sure that this will actually give so much energy to the team to actually fight for something, and I'm telling you, it will energize them to fight for, you know, the titles that they have to win. I have seen this happen, because these are some of the players who have seen that are willing to sacrifice and do so much to prove that they are worth of this manager. And now knowing that this is his last dance will actually energize them to actually allow this man to live with so much more than what we were actually expecting in this season. So I'm really excited over how the next 4 months will go on, like as we are trying to build up for what comes up in the next season. Let's see what happens.
And to them after Sir Alex Ferguson left. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Frank, I want to bring you into the conversation. As a player, would this prove to be a distraction at all?
Yes, it is, because you wonder, what's going to happen next season, what kind of coach or who kind of coach you're going to get, and of course it's a question mark. But they're all professional, and as a professional, you know that you have to think about the present and do the job you see in front of you, and what they have to achieve is the Premier League, is the Carabao Cup final, so and maybe the FA Cup. So it's Champions League as well. It's what you have to do right now. But of course, at the back of your head, you think about it. I just want to say it's a sad news for Stevie, for the Reds, but also for the Premier League, because he said he will never ever coach another club, and he was so charismatic. Even if he was sometimes in pain in the neck, he was somebody the Premier League needed, and that's very sad. And good luck for the next one, because as you mentioned, after Alex Ferguson, he's been trouble for Manchester United. After Arsene Wenger, he's been trouble for Arsenal. I don't know. It's hard to cope with the situation where you're a long-term coach and you get somebody else who's under pressure like hell, and which normally doesn't manage very well.
I've always said it's a bigger problem for Liverpool and Manchester City, not when the star players leave. It's when those two managers decide it's time to take a sabbatical or take some time off. That has been evident by the way they have managed wherever they've been, but particularly at these two clubs, that is the biggest headache above any star player, is these two guys at the helm.
Mark, obviously.
Very clear that I just had. One thing that we can talk about, that when Sir Alex Ferguson left Manchester United, they didn't do well. When Wenger left us now, the club suffered. But there's a difference between all these managers who are really great when they left their club and what happened to their team. And the difference is that Klopp is not leaving Liverpool going down. He's leaving Liverpool going up. Sir Alex Ferguson, we can all admit, even though they won the league, the team showed that it was going down. But this is a newly refreshed Liverpool that is coming in. And Arsene Wenger, the club, the fans themselves wanted him to go. So I don't think that it's the same as what Klopp is doing. Klopp has just built something new, and this something new has already shown that it has something big to offer, and he's leaving it in good hands. So whoever comes and take over, his philosophy are easily gonna go in and help this team to continue doing more. That's the difference between Klopp and other managers. And also, like what Craig is talking about, the problem for these two clubs was gonna come when one of those managers were leaving. And now we are in this Liverpool one where Klopp is leaving. What's going to happen after that? Talk about as well as when Pep Guardiola is going to leave Manchester City. It's going to be crazy. But we can already see. Now talk about the replacements. Xavi Alonso. Let's talk about that one.
See Stevie bringing up Alex Ferguson. Of course, it was the second time that he said he was going to retire. In fact, he did, because the first time it all turned out to be a mess. The big question now, I suppose, is who is going to replace Jurgen Klopp, and it's all about Xavi Alonso at the moment?
That's a good idea.
Well, it'd be a good idea if Mark Ogden's internet will, but that's all right. Don't worry. Let's discuss then something that has been discussed a lot. Should we hear from Xavi Alonso? Should we play that clip now? He was asked about by Archie Rintut today in the Bayer Leverkusen press conference about the possibility of him moving to Liverpool.
How shocked were you by the news with Jurgen Klopp this morning? And is there a time, maybe after the end of your contract at Leverkusen, where the Liverpool job would appeal to you?
Well, first of all, yeah, it was a surprise, but as well, you know, I have huge respect for Jurgen, huge admiration. Before coming to Liverpool and during his year, it has even been bigger and it has grown. No, the way what he has achieved and the way he has achieved that. And at the moment, I am really happy here. I am enjoying my work here. I am feeling that each day it's a challenge. Each game is a challenge, and we are in an intense but in a beautiful journey here in Leverkusen. And I am trying to give my best to help my players be ready for the next thing. And that's my goal. What will come in next one, I don't know.
If I could just nachhaken. But when it comes to taking your career at your own pace, we've seen other ex-players have gone and taken jobs and it's not gone as well as it has for you, for example, in terms of you look at the speed that you worked with Sociedad there and now coming here. Is pacing your career something which is important to you?
To be honest, I am not in that moment to think about the next step. I'm thinking about where I am right now, and I think that I am in a great place, and I am enjoying, and I think it's the right place. So that's all I can say. I don't know about the paces. My pace is what's going to be at the pace of the team on Saturday, to be honest, because that's what really matters. And I'm going to be happy when we are playing well, and we deserve to win. And what's going to happen in the future, I don't know, and I don't really care at the moment.
Xabi Alonso saying every single thing right there, you have to say to the question.
He was never, ever going to say anything other than the standard. Well. He had his bat straight, yes, and he never moved it.
Who do you want, Stevie, as the next coach?
I absolutely don't know. Listen, it would be such a gamble. You know, that list that you put up, there's none of us can say there's a bad coach on it. Let's be honest. They're all good coaches. But to follow on from a guy like Klopp and to take a job the size of Liverpool, you need to be more than just a good coach. And Xavi Alonso, in his football experience as a coach and manager, I'm not so sure he's got that to fall back on. You know, he's never faced any adversity. Everything's been smooth. You know, you look at Klopp. For all the success he had at Dortmund, he had some bad times. You know, losing cup finals is hard, and then you go through a period where you actually nearly get relegated. I mean, these are all things that at the time you wish didn't happen, but it's part of your makeup. It's part of your psyche, and then when these things are thrown at you, all of a sudden you've got somewhere to go to deal with it. Xavi Alonso has none of that, so it would be a huge gamble for such a young coach to be thrust into the Liverpool job. Number one, just the fact that it's the Liverpool job, but number two, having to follow Jurgen Klopp. So right now, I really don't know. They're all good coaches, but do they have the character and do they have that little X factor that the great managers have in order to take over and be a success at Liverpool? I really don't know right now.
You might be looking
a bit dour, isn't he?
Who?
Stevie.
Well, why?
It's like the party at Disney.
Disney's changing that.
Liverpool fans to be feeling right now. Do you want us to smile? That is a fake smile. Oh, of course, but anyway, I hear you. We're talking about who can be the perfect replacement That list that we just seen from ESPN, it's an amazing list. Xavi Alonso, I don't know. I don't really agree with Steve saying that he has had it easy, because he is taking out a team that has never really won this one. Bayer Leverkusen, it's like the Tottenham Hotspurs of Premier League. They never win anything. They never win anything. And right now it seems like they could win something. And let's be honest, it's all because of Xavi. It's all because of Xavi. So if we want somebody with history, I get it. I get it. There are so many people with history that shows that they're good football managers. But also, do we want somebody who can be who can maybe connect with the emotions that Liverpool shows? I think he can, because he is one of our own. And one thing that we know as Liverpool, we never forget one of our own. Hence, you never walk alone. That's what we mean. But also, I'm looking at the other managers that have been called over there. De Zerbi, he's at Brighton. Look at them right now. They can be up, they can be down. We are talking about somebody who's going to take over from a man who has come and became the light in the darkness we have been for such a long time. And at this moment, who can we trust upon at the moment? Arsenal trusted on Mikel Arteta, as much as he has not managed to lift something, but you can see that there is a direction in where he's all going. That's why, hence the extension of his contract, which is coming. Where do you see Liverpool at? Let's get one of our own. I'll put my life just to say, not really my life, but put on one of our own who can do something, because I believe he can do something. I don't know. That's me being just me. But I'm still confused at this moment, because I am still in disbelief that I'm about to lose my manager. It's one of those weeks, one of those days where things are so painful at the moment to accept. But we are here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, people. There's more that goes into this one, but I just wanted to leave to the point where they talk about who could be the replacement of Klopp. Click the like button, subscribe to the Connect. And if you're watching this clip, let me know what you think. I'll link up with the video where I actually did the overview of this. Like the vid, I'm out. Subscribe to the Connect, important. Let's go. Peace out.